share with you 7 daily habits that I do every single day in order to make sure that our house looks clean and good and it's just nice to live in. Hey, and welcome to today's video. Now, for those that don't know me yet, my name is Stephanie. I'm a mom to 3 kids, and I love being a homemaker, which is the content that I share on this channel. Now, if you love content like this, I would love for you to subscribe, but let's dive into the 7 habits right now. Now, the first thing that I always do is I make sure that I vacuum every single day. And the reason for it is, number one, we have 3 children, so the house will get messy easily, but I also want to just stay on top of it. Because the dust, no matter how clean your children might be, dust will always collect on the floor, and I just don't like that. So what I always do is I make sure before we have dinner to vacuum the floors, make sure that the house looks clean when my husband comes home. So I always do that at the end of the day, but I also sweep between lunch and dinner. So after lunch, they have sandwiches, and of course, there's crumbs everywhere on the floor. So I always make sure to sweep the floor after that. But before we go and sit at the dinner table, I make sure that I have vacuumed below the dinner table, because I really hate it when you sit down at the table, you have a really nice prepared meal, and then your feet constantly feel sand. I really don't like that feeling. So I make sure to vacuum every single day in order to get rid of that. Now, another thing I always do is I make sure I do the dishes once we are done with the meal. So when we're done with breakfast, I do my dishes. And it's not even because I hate the look of the dishes on the sink or on the counter or in the sink, because honestly, it doesn't necessarily bother me that much. But what does bother me is when I go and make lunch and the entire counter is filled with breakfast dishes. I really hate that feeling. So I always make sure to bless myself before I start a new meal and have a clean slate to work with. So after we finished our meal, I make sure to clean everything that we used, just to make sure that I can easily prepare our next meal that is coming. And it really does actually make me feel great when it is away. So when I walk into the kitchen, whatever time it is, I always walk into a clean kitchen, and I just love it. So do your dishes as soon as you are done with the meal, instead of piling everything up, and do it at the end of the day, because that is just a whole lot of work. And I don't know about you, but when I look at that huge pile of dishes at the end of the day, I feel so overwhelmed and I really don't want to do my dishes. But when I just do a few plates here and there throughout the day, it doesn't even really take that long. So do your dishes after the meal instead of piling them up. Now, the third thing is something you've probably heard before, because this is something that a lot of people do, but I really love doing a load of laundry every single day because it just helps me to stay on top of it. And again, same thing with the dishes. When I have a huge pile of laundry, I just don't want to do it. So I rather do just a little bit every day instead of doing one big day of laundry. Now, this is different for everybody. I know people that really love doing just all the laundry in one day and have it done with for the week. It just depends on what you love to do. I hate having huge piles, so I rather do it every single day. And it helps me to always have clean underwear, for example, in our drawers, because I am constantly doing laundry. So there's constantly new clean stuff being added into our closets. Now, next on the list is I always make sure to pick up all the clutter that is on the floor, because when there's a lot of things on the floor, it actually makes your house feel so cluttered and messy, and it is such an easy thing to do and to make your house look great in just a few minutes. And when you have children, this is particularly important, because I don't know about you, but our children can make a really big mess. So we always make sure that they clean up after themselves. So when they grab the entire bucket of Duplo, that's fine with me, they can play with it, but when they're done playing, I want them to pick it up, because I really don't want the entire floor to be covered with all the toys we have and with everything that you can think of. So I always make sure that they pick up their stuff and I do the same thing. So we make sure that everything is just clutter-free throughout the day, just to make our house more livable. And we don't have a huge house, so it really does make a huge difference when we have all the clutter out of sight. It just makes it feel very clean and just a great space to be in. Now, something that is actually important for you as a mother or you as the homemaker is take breaks. I love taking breaks throughout the day, and not because I want to be lazy and I just want to sit on the couch, But I really do love just taking a break from the things that I'm doing, from working, from school, or from whatever we are doing throughout the day, and just sit for a second and really just spend time with my children, drink a cup of coffee, and just sit. Because you can easily become so busy with all the things that you need to do, which is important. We really do need to clean the home, and we do have to do school, and we need to do dishes and all those things. But it's also important to take a moment to just sit with the children. And what I love about taking breaks is I grab a cup of coffee, which is something that I love. I sit down, and the first thing that happens is my children will pile on top of me and they want me to read a book, or they just want to cuddle. And I just really love those moments, because if I don't take a break, I'm constantly in the kitchen, for example. I will do dishes, and then I'm cooking, and I'm doing dishes, and I'm cooking, and you're in that constant cycle. But if I sit down and I really take a moment to take a break from the work, I can actually have that time with my children to really connect. So take more breaks. If you're not doing that already, just take 5 minutes, sit down, and really enjoy a cup of coffee. And it's also very important, because if you don't sit down, you can easily forget to just take a sip of water. So grab your tea, your coffee, your water, and take breaks regularly throughout the day. And it doesn't have to be, like I said, it doesn't have to be an hour where you sit down and read 10 chapters of your book. It can also be just 5 minutes sitting down with your children and read a few pages of their favorite book. Now, the next on the list is to cook your meals from home. Now, I absolutely love cooking from home, because it is such a beautiful thing to use my hands and to use my creativity and to come up with a beautiful dish that is both delicious and nutritious. And it's something that my entire family can enjoy. And it's just something that I absolutely love to do. But it is a really important thing that you do as a mom to provide for your family, to make sure that your family actually has good food to eat. So try to make more meals at home, and just start very simple and move up from there. I love to make lasagna and simple pasta dishes early on in our marriage. And right now I'm trying to learn more different skills, but it's just really important to put your effort into cooking meals from home. And it doesn't even have to be the most amazing dish, but just having put that time in, putting that love into creating a beautiful meal is such a blessing to your families. And the last on the list is something that I started to do recently, or about a year ago, I would say, and it really made such a difference in our home. And that is closing my kitchen at the end of the night. And it's not something that I learned when I was younger, because in our home, there was usually a bunch of dishes on the counter. But when I got married, my husband really didn't like that feeling. And because I never really learned it, I didn't really see it. So it wasn't something that came natural to me. But he said, I really don't like waking up in the morning and seeing all the dishes from last night on the counter. And I fully agree with it right now. When I got married, it wasn't something that I did naturally, so I had to learn it. It is something that I had to develop, and I really tried to clean my dishes every single night. And I've been doing that for the last 10 years, but about a year ago, I thought, you know what? From now on, I am never gonna have dishes on my kitchen counter ever again. So I turned it into a must-do, and it has made such a difference. So what I do now is I actually put into practice one of my tips, and I do the dishes right after dinner, and I make sure that I do every single thing that is part of making sure you close your kitchen. So I do the dishes, I put away all the leftovers, I clean my countertops, I clean the stove, do all those things every single night, because when I come downstairs, it does really feel so good to come into a kitchen and to just get started right away without having to do the dishes from last night, where everything is stuck to the plates and it smells disgusting because it smells like the dinner you had last night. So it really does make such a difference, but it wasn't something that came natural to me. So anyway, I turned it into a habit. And if there's one habit that you want to take from this video that you're going to focus on, let it be this one, because it really is so nice to wake up to a clean kitchen. So anyway, those are 7 habits. Now, there are way more things that I do throughout the day and throughout the week, actually, that make a huge difference in our day and in my life as a homemaker. So I will definitely share more of those tips, but if you have something that you do every single day that you actually really love and that you think I should adopt, let me know down below, because I'm always trying to evolve as a homemaker and we can help each other, which is awesome. So let me know down below, and thank you for watching this video and for being here on my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video.